Congress meme review. So guys, how was your weekend? As I'm sure most of you know by now, on Saturday, August 12th, I announced at the Young Americans for Liberty conference that I am in fact running for Congress.
That's why I'm running for Congress.
I'm running specifically in the primary against Republican Tony Gonzalez for District 23. I'm sure we'll talk more about that later. But as you might imagine, after the announcement, the internet proceeded to lose its shit. There were a lot of memes. So I figured we'd look through some of my favorites together and kind of explain what the fuck is going on. Yes, I am now formally a congressional candidate, and yes, I am still going to be saying fuck on this channel. Who had Brandon Herrera running for Congress? Yeah, I get how for most of you this probably came out of left field. We've been quietly preparing for this for like 9 months. So it feels like I've actually got a huge weight off my shoulders and I can finally publicly talk to you guys about it. So no, if you guys were wondering, this wasn't just a random side quest I decided to take on after I won that boxing match. You know, my last side quest.
Coffee and we'll be back here in a sec. Oh, nice jab. And down he goes.
Win pro boxing debut via KO. Run for Congress. Brandon Herrera. I personally prefer my congressman to be able to box and, you know, not have to be wheeled in and told where the fuck they are. Please God, let this happen because it would be so fucking funny. I, for one, agree. Of course, I'm going to be taking this extremely seriously, and I do have a plan. But part of that plan is to be an absolute Molotov into politics. So, this should be really fun. Brandon Herrera's first day in Congress. Sheila Jackson makes a comment about an AK-47. Oh my God. I think it's actually going to be hard to sit there and have to listen to them try to talk about gun stuff in person without having an aneurysm, because they have no clue what they're talking about. FPS Russia walked, so Brandon could run. That's a neat little double entendre. I see what you did there. Honestly, it's true in a lot of ways. FPS Russia was one of my early inspirations, obviously, like he was for a lot of us, like everybody. You know, he was the first gun tuber to really blow up, and I remember watching him a bunch when I was still in like high school. So yeah, he laid the groundwork for a lot of gun YouTubers, and of course, you know, myself included. And yes, if I ever get to vote on a bill that would restore his gun rights, I'm absolutely doing it. Tony Gonzalez, Brandon Herrera. So let's talk for a quick second about my opponent. Tony's a relatively new congressman. He just won his first election a couple years ago. Ran on a lot of things, among them being pro-gun. Then after Uvalde, when things got politically inconvenient, he voted for Biden's gun control. When asked about it later, he said he would do it again. Me reading about this, realizing that this is my congressman who represents me, yeah, that was not gonna fly. He's done a bunch of other stuff that's really kind of ticked off the party, so much that they actually voted to censure him. So really the party was just looking for somebody to run against him, somebody who had the juice to actually pull it off. Seeing nobody else that I personally thought could win, I figured I'd ruin my life. But if that's the cost of getting an anti-gun vote out of Congress, well, I'm happy to play ball. This gun control law looks pretty good. Nyet, Constitution is fine. This is normally the part of the video where we do some sort of ad. We're not going to do that this video, but I am going to remind you really quick that you can help support the campaign, either by clicking the link in the description, and if you're in the United States, donating directly to the campaign itself, or by going over to Bunker Branding and picking up one of the campaign Let's Go Brandon shirts. Because it was really cool to decide that I was going to run and realize my campaign slogan had already been picked for me. So be sure to tell any friends you've got in West Texas, let's go Brandon. The ATF looking at Brandon Herrera's FFL SOT status now that he is running for Congress, like, what a seductive picture of administrative results. Look, they've probably had their eyes on me for a long time, especially after I, you know, spoke before Congress and testified against them recently. Luckily, we dot our I's and cross our T's when it comes to the FFL for this exact reason, because, this last couple years, I've kind of been a pretty vocal, how would you put that, shit poster about how I feel about the ATF. Finish the AK-50. Run for Congress. Brandon Herrera. So fun fact behind the scenes, and I'll do a quick AK-50 update as soon as I'm done with this, but behind the scenes, before we started having supplier issues, I straight up said, guys, we have to have the V3 finished before I announce this congressional run, because if we don't, the memes are going to fucking be there, and I said this exact fucking meme was going to happen. Like, I just knew it. That's just how the internet works. We had some part issues, supplier issues, you know, the joys of contracting. Third parties are always very fun. And then lo and behold, I announced, and then within like a fucking hour, I saw this meme, and I'm like, knew it. But cool AK-50 update. You remember that handguard that we got back from that supplier that was just super fucked?
Look at that perfectly symmetrical Picatinny rail. That's probably usable for something, I guess.
Well, thankfully, Titans of CNC, being the fucking G's that they are, stepped up and did another one for us without even us asking. They just flat out offered it. And of course, because it was Titans, they went above and beyond, and it's fucking flawless. So the second to last piece for the AK-50 that we need before we can put it together, now in my hands. Unfortunately, the last piece that we need is the receiver, because we had an issue with tolerances. Essentially, long story short, the receiver we thought we were going to be able to use, that big stamped receiver, one critical dimension was wrong, and it basically makes the whole thing a fucking paperweight, which, you know, sometimes that's just how this shit goes. It wasn't wrong on our end. It was the part got manufactured slightly wrong, and we didn't notice it until it was a little too late. So waiting on another receiver. Once that's in, it's go time. So there you go. I know this is a meme review, but, you know, hey, you guys get an AK-50 update as a treat. Their squad. Our squad. Well, we're missing a couple in there. Good old Donut, Demo Ranch, who has also started to get political on Twitter, by the way, which is getting fucking hilarious. I've known Matt a long time, and Spicy Matt is my favorite Matt. But it's been awesome, all the support I've been getting from my friends, several of whom have offered their assistance in this coming meme war. Which, by the way, has already started on Twitter. No days off in TX23. Don't worry, you have plenty of days off ahead of you. And of course, Tony being a Rhino Republican, me and Cody had to stop by and, you know, take some selfies with him. Even Crispy joined in on the fun. I swear to God, if you guys actually meme me into fucking Congress, if you asked me even 2 years ago, I never would have predicted this is how my life was gonna go, but here we are. Brandon Herrera, thinking the AK is neat, running for Congress. That's an oversimplification, but that's pretty much correct. What's also correct is that if you wanted to get your start in gunsmithing and weapons technology, you can use the links down in the description to check out SDI.edu. They're a big sponsor of the channel, just wanted to give them some love. Ivy League schools and a career in law or business. Making a YouTube channel based around firearms designed in a country that no longer exists. Oh, and memes. The halls of Congress. I've seen a few people already questioning my qualifications and things like, hey, you're a YouTuber. Also, like, successful entrepreneur, small business owner, history and politics, you know, details. But yes, this is going to be very strange considering I don't know of any other YouTuber that's ever run for public office. Don't get me wrong, like 99% of the time, that's probably a good thing. I just kind of view this as a service. I never wanted to be a politician. In fact, I hate most politicians. Now that maybe technically I am one, I still hate most politicians. 2019, gun meme review. That sounds fun. 2028, AK guy elected president. No, sir, not happening. This is not a career for me. This shouldn't be a career for anybody, really. This should be a civil service. If I do get elected, as long as I can find somebody to replace me who I believe will hold the same values that I do and loves the Constitution as much as I do, I fully intend to step down. I will not be a career politician. In fact, I have a huge disdain for those that are. So no, after my 2 years, I don't currently intend on running again, and I definitely don't intend on, you know, running for anything higher than this. I'll just return to my patch of fuck off Texas somewhere. Keep doing the things I'm good at. Brandon running for Congress. Brandon is a politician now. Which actually brings me around to the next part. It's a little awkward. Brandon Herrera and his political career. Literally making multiple videos breaking down political assassinations. Yeah, knock on wood here, but worst case, and something did happen. It's gonna look like I was kind of asking for it.
I find irony is a blade that cuts he who wields it most especially.
Speaking of which, new assassination video coming up soon. I think we're actually going to be reconstructing the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. We did JFK, Abe Lincoln, and Shinzo Abe, although, you know, rip that video. MLK is going to be an interesting one, though, especially if you know anything about kind of the conspiracy theories around that assassination that we will be getting into in the video, because that is a favorite topic of mine. I also just realized the irony of the, you know, pipe gun shirt that I'm wearing right now. That was not an intentional decision, but it's oddly fitting. Mitch McConnell, please don't do this. CIA, we just want to talk. Ben Shapiro, asking me to get pictures from AOC's office, which that's going to be interesting having her as a co-worker. Congressman Herrera is a racist, homophobic, transphobic fascist. Congresswoman Cortez, please stop trying to date me. If you're not familiar with the AOC date me fiasco, oh my god, so choice. Yeah, I can't wait to find out all these crazy things about myself. Here I thought I was just a Texan who loves guns and loves the Constitution. But I can't wait to find out about all the new and exciting people I didn't know that I hated. It's gonna be fun. A lot of Reddit when they learn Brandon is running as an R and realize he thinks AKs are just neat mechanically. Yeah, no, I was never a dirty commie. I've always been a pretty libertarian-leaning kind of guy. AKs are cool. I still think AKs are cool. I've always thought AKs were cool. Communism? Oh, no, thank you. I prefer to eat, as clearly do plenty of the communists on Reddit. Me, on my way to talk to some rich men north of Richmond. That reminds me of that, like, Family Guy bit. I just want to talk. I just want to talk.
I just want to talk to him.
Wait, why do you have a shotgun?
I just want to talk to him.
By the way, I'm sure you guys have seen that song already, Rich Men North of Richmond. It just fucking came out of nowhere. If you haven't seen it, definitely worth checking out. Watched it for the first time like the day before my announcement, and then now it is everywhere. Even Joe Rogan was talking about it a couple days later. Like, it blew up. Great song that's very relatable to the current times. Brandon Herrera, Republican, Texas District 23, entering Capitol Hill to find the client list. I believe that would be January 2025. But point stands, it's going to be very awkward when I read that client list and realize that several of the people on that list are my co-workers in Congress. Man, how great is that going to be to get the opportunity to expose all of that, and then some other budding YouTuber will do a video on my assassination. I would never simp for a politician. At your service, my king. Seriously, guys, the support that you have shown already has been fucking mind-blowing. There was a couple ways I figured that this could have gone, and you guys have actually exceeded all of my expectations for our best case scenario. I appreciate the amount of faith that you guys have in me to take this seriously, and I'm hoping that we can do a lot of good here. Absolute worst case scenario, the anti-gun Tony Gonzalez is now afraid for his job. So mission accomplished. So I guess that wraps this episode of Gun Meme Review, or I guess Congress Meme Review. If you haven't joined the fight over on Twitter, my handle is @theAKGuy. Come jump in the trenches. It's a lot of fun. Again, the links to support the campaign are down in the description and in the pinned comment. And yes, you do have to be in the United States to donate. FEC stuff, you know, avoiding Russian collusion and all that. Back to our regularly scheduled programming after this. I believe we're doing the RPD next, so that should be fun. I appreciate your support so much. Seriously, guys, it means the world to me. And, well, wish me luck. And as always, thank you guys for watching all the way to the end. And I'll see you sexy YouTube mother lovers in the next video. Thanks.
Fuel is my obsession to make the perfect weapon, like Rasputin's rise to the top. But you can stop.
Several of Hume, what the fuck?